Hello everyone and welcome to this full moon in Gemini with Lunar Eclipse. Intense time for us all, big changes happening, big transformation. We are just about to end 2020, only practically a month to go. And this is is going to be the last full moon, intense full moon of the year, as starting from the next moon, the one we're going to have on the 14th of December, something new is going to happen. The seed of the new time is going to be planted, and then we're going to immediately after going to have the winter solstice, in Europe, and then the end of the new year for everyone in the world. This sequence of endings is extremely important, and then it's talking about opening for a space that is going to create a new way in which humanity relates, a new way of life, more based on who we truly are than what we think we are. As I said, this last full moon is going to be in Gemini, and is going to be at 8 degrees 38 Gemini. If we start from, let's say, the beginning, since last September, I was talking about the fact that we were going to enter into a corridor of moons, where and this corridor of moons would have created a series of steps, a series of transformation, which were going to lead us into the new time, the new way of being. But the main thing happening here, it is the fact that we're going to leave something intense, where we are in a way tested in relation to our inner strength, which means the capacity to hold on to who we truly deeply within are, and move and keep following that inner guidance, that inner light, that inner fire that I talked about in my presentation of this broadcast. So the moon, the day of the moon is the 30th of November. We are already into that energy. And then in numerology, 30 is a very interesting number, because it's talking about uplifting the self, uplifting others, recognizing, because number 3 cannot recognize itself. And also number 3 in esoteric numerology is the mental, the lower mental, the little mind, which is also house 3 is also the house associated to Gemini, actually the star sign in which we are going to have the next lunation. So 3 is actually, number 3 in numerology is really the intellect. So we need to uplift that intellect, which means need to uplift that way of thinking that we've had just until now, and then move into something new. And 30 is really about letting the light reveal our divine life, which means allowing the light from the universal life to come into our life. It's already there, but let's say manifest it consciously, and then make something happen, so that we can really reveal. It can really reveal the new path. Bear in mind that when we talk about allow the light to guide you, light is like a laser. When light, that is consciousness, enters our life, it may be very intense, it may be very cutting, and we may not like what that light would like to show us. So at the time of this lunation, this might be a possibility that may manifest. In the Aura-Soma system, bottle 30 is it's called bringing heaven down to earth. And most of the time, when we want to manifest heaven, we would like to manifest heaven on earth. We forget, we have our idea of heaven, which is not the idea the universe has. So uplifting self means starting really looking at things from a different point of view, which is not the point of view of our little intellect, but is the point of view of the higher mind, which is represented exactly by the opposite sign, the sign of the sun, the Sagittarius in this case, in the astrological chart. We are asked really to surrender to an energy, because the bottle is blue over red, which is a higher guidance, not our little mind guidance. So it is really learning to follow that guidance, whatever happens from in the outer world. Blue is also called Sagittarius, the sun, the star sign of the sun, and then Gemini is orange. Is also the higher mind, the little voice within. So we are really asked to not to listen to the old. Our emotional stuff, our emotional inner struggle, but to have the maturity and loyalty and the true dedication to take a certain sphere of action and then be responsible for who we are and what we are, truly deeply within ourselves. So it is a number 30, of redemption. It is, which means calling back, bringing back to us what we was taken away from us or we have lost. The degree of this lunation is going to be 8 degrees 38 Gemini. And 8 in numerology is the number associated to justice, which is actually associated to Libra, which is finding the heart, which is balancing the mind and the heart, but the personality and the soul. But in this case, not really a traditional way in which Libra would do, would put things on the scale, but because Libra has a tendency to go for, to avoid choices or to go for compromises. And here, don't change, don't create imbalance in our life. Here, we are actually, this 8 is about aligning the inner and the outer, aligning who we are, what we are, to who we truly are, deep within. And the degree, the minute is 38, which is really moving from the split mind, 38, to having the courage to follow the light within. When we talk about split mind, we need to remember that we have in our brain we have actually 2 hemispheres, and the hemisphere associated to Gemini is the left hemisphere, the rational mind, the intellect, while the brain associated to the hemisphere associated to the higher mind is actually the right brain. But while the left brain is the little voice that we hear in our mind telling us what we should have done, what we shouldn't have done, the judgment, the thinking, the right brain is actually mute. It doesn't speak at all. It doesn't have a voice. And neuroscience tells us that the right brain doesn't have a voice, and the voice of the right brain is our heart, because through the vagus nerve, the right hemisphere is connected to the heart. So if we really want to learn to listen to the heart, we have to listen to the right brain, which is the only one who is in the present, in the here and now. We need to start listening to the voice of the heart, this little small voice, the little small voice within. We are in a month 11. 11 is about 11. 1 is a wheel, 2 wheels. Which one I follow, and then 11 is the tarot card, the strength. the tarot card strength is a very interesting image because it has the image of a woman holding a lion. The lion is the personality and the woman is the soul. And she's holding a lion, and the lion is getting, you know, quite a bit rebellious, but it doesn't bite the soul. So what does it mean from a spiritual point of view? That our strength doesn't truly come from others people's acceptance, but it comes from within. Because the challenge of the tarot card strength, the tarot path in the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is standing here, you know, it is associated to the throat. So it is the path between Chesed and Geburah, from the fourth to the fifth sphere. It is a path where we are asked whether we really have the courage to stand, to look at ourselves, stand in front of ourselves. And then here we have our personality standing in front of our soul. And who do we choose? What do we choose? Who do we want to be? So, which is actually this Gemini energy. The Gemini energy are these two twins, you know, the soul and the personality. Who are you? What do you want to be? And then most of the time we choose to be what other people tell us is right. And then this number, the degree of this lunation is actually asking us, inviting us not to listen to others anymore, but to start listening to the higher guidance, because the meridian associated to Gemini is the lung meridian, and then the lung meridian is really the heavenly energy, as listening to heavenly guidance, which is really not what we think we are, but who we truly are. So it's only the heavenly guidance that can give us the strength and the wisdom to transcend that sense of feeling lost and then connect to an energy coming from above, which is actually the one that has to guide our life. So it is really an intense time of transformation. And then because the lung meridian is making a boundary between our inner and outer world, and then it's the meridian that defends and defines a person. So it is also responsible of our breath and our renewal, because breath, we get life from breath, from our breath. And then so it is really about taking a new in-breath, you know, and then moving to something new. So because it rules the chi in the body, and then so that new breath allows that transformation to take place in the body. So it is a meridian that can bring new ideas and can really penetrate and stimulate the mind in a new way. But we don't have to go into the challenge of that meridian, which is our reactiveness, our feeling suffocated, feeling vulnerable, but is really the positive energy of that meridian that we need really to go into, and then which is about courage, which is about letting go, about surrendering to who we are, is really asking us to not to lose our essence, to change where we are looking at and who we're looking at, and then reach the core of that being, of our being, and let go, because the pair meridian, this meridian, the lung meridian, is paired with the colon meridian, which is about elimination and release, which is actually the lung meridian in color language is blue. The orange meridian in color language is the color meridian is actually orange. So let go, release. Don't keep repeating the same pattern. New energy is going to be formed within yourself, and then shift. 30 and 11 is a 41, which is dare to use the key, dare to allow that new will to enter into your personality for and change your life. So the only thing we have to do in this at the time of discernation is really identify ourselves with the purpose of our life. What is really important is to identify with our purpose, to remember, to remind that what we are here for something, and our soul knows what it's all about. Even we may experience betrayal, we may experience challenges with the relationship, because Gemini is really about relationship on any kind, relationship with the environment that surrounds us. That relationship is based on who we were, what we have chosen in the past. Do we keep believing choosing the same thing, moving on, or we change completely? 30 in the Tao Te Ching, the ancient book, is a number that talks about don't use power. Don't use power to conquer your others. Don't, because if you use power, what you conquer with power will be destroyed. So next week we're going to enter in a 53 week, and then after 54. So 53 is really about stop fighting. So because those who conquer things with power, that conquered thing will come to an end soon. So we need to allow that transformation. 30 and 11, 30 is a 3, 11 is a 2, which is a 32-5, which is about don't use your pride, don't allow your pride to guide your action, but follow that inner message, that inner guidance. And 2020 is a 22-4, so we have a 54, which in your Aura-Soma system is the bottle associated to Serapis Bay, which means the nature of suffering, which is about karmic absolution, letting go the old suffering. Tears may come into our eyes, but watch those tears and allow the rainbow, your inner voice, to create that connection with who you truly are. If people stop you, if people don't believe in you, if people judge you, if something happens that prevents you, could create a situation where you may think to stop and go back into the old way of being, don't do that. Allow the tears, but choose the inner light, choose who you are. Vulcan is really saying that new elements are formed within us, and we must take a new step, and this means inner changes. We need to really return to who we are, and then connect with the inner flame and discard completely the past. What has to guide is Uranus is telling us, look, focus on your future, on your imagination. You need to focus that imagination, orient that imagination on your future, upon your future. So you can reach a new level of being and go deeply into the root of who you were, you always been, and stop living two separate lives, the outer and the inner. Okay? Come join them together, because the challenge at destination is the challenge of transformation. We need to incorporate what we really believe in, what we really truly are, into our life, and become an example for others instead of fighting with others. So we are asked to completely commit to this new goal, and then surrender to this new energy that we feel within. So focus on your spiritual energy, not on the mind. And because this we have the possibility of transforming what we may experience as a lack of potency into poise and inner security. So go within and allow the transformation, whatever happens. So that is very, very and extremely important at this time. Another important aspect is we need to have the courage to enter the unknown. The unknown is not what we planned, but is really about what we feel. Because a drowning man is going to be rescued, and a drowning man, who says the Sabian symbol, is who we were, who we have become. A cycle is really coming to an end, and we need to allow that new possibility, that new energy. And the Sabian symbol of the sun is the courage to climb slowly, a mother that helps the sun slowly climbing a very high, steep stairs, which means we don't have to make big changes. Slowly, the first change comes from within. The other symbol, the symbol of the moon, is a quiver filled with arrows. These arrows doesn't have to be thrown, at us, but they have to be used to conquer our outer nature or our instinctual mental drives, because it's the time, is really a big cosmic rebirth. The energy of the degree of the moon says that, 838 becomes, 38 is an 11-2, so 82, which is cosmic rebirth. And then we need to learn to stand up for ourselves. As we focus that, stop chasing, following that inner dialogue, because Gemini is that inner dialogue about what we should do, we shouldn't do, and start following, listening to our inner voice, who we truly are, then we send straightly an arrow towards the higher mind, and the new direction is going really truly to manifest. That is the new direction, is the direction of the new life, who we really want to be. So very, very important this time, this transformation, what's happening at this moon. And within us, the ruler of Gemini is in Scorpio, which is a water sign, and Mercury, Mercury has winged feet, so it doesn't like staying in water. But we are really, our intellect is really deeply taken deep into the subconscious mind, into our fears, so that it can illuminate and understand things that we have never seen before. And then this darkness, we are in the darkest period of the year here in the northern hemisphere, has the purpose of supporting that process within, of that transformation for the new energy. And Mercury is one of the ruler of Gemini, so that intellect is going to be taken deep into that, and then is going to be truly transformed. We have to become aware that what we see, we have created what we see that we don't like. What's happening in front of us is because in the past we have allowed it with our belief system, with our choices about trusting the outer and not the inner. And it is really the time to love the love that we carry, because most of the time we don't really listen to the love that we carry, to the love that we would like to share, to who we deeply are. And we listen more to what we should do and others tell us not to do and not to be. So we need to go back to that fire, that little fire within, and shift that energy, so we can really, that love, which I personally have experienced, can really start becoming a bigger and bigger fire. And I can tell you in my experience what I really experienced, I saw, and I can see that if you follow that love with all your strength, all your heart, doesn't matter what happens at the very beginning, but that love slowly in time will lead you to a new life, because no one can betray you, because you don't betray yourself. So it is really important to understand that we are given the possibility to shift our life. And then I said, karmic absolution, a well of tears that can come, but we need to, these tears are waking our intellect, waking up our intellect, and then giving the intellect the possibility to choose, to trust the heart for the first time. Enter the unknown, but it is the unknown that you are, the love that you were born with and that you carry with you. And it's also that holds the possibility, the seed of what you can be and what you will be. So wishing you a wonderful full moon in Gemini on the 30th of November, and then trust your inner light and ask for guidance. Bye bye.